Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Today it's, what could you call it, a user requested one. The individual called Sunshine who wanted like a map analysis as well as the distance measured with the sun tunnels, Dylan's grain shed and the gas stations, as many of them within the location or so, and then drawing some kind of radius of the area. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to share that with you on Google Earth, base version, right now. Okay, so here we are. First of all, we are located near sun tunnels, as you can see on screen by the blue marker. I will zoom in for you so you can get a better look. As you can see, there is a clearing and there's quite a few track marks as well. Now, I don't know if it was all caused by one vehicle, like the one you see here on screen, or it was others, many. Whether it be on the same day or spread about, you can see it receives a fair few tourists and people maybe living in the area that want to view it. I don't know the history behind this or like exactly when it was placed there, but maybe it was done as an art project. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just with having those holes in and allowing the light to bend through it. It looks quite good when you look at the photos. So yeah, that's sun tunnels. Now, we could bring it up into discussion right now. Some people previously talked about there were stories of Chase. Around the time of Dylan's disappearance, just after, Chase was spotted in this area nearby, driving around on a quad bike, an ATV. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I guess with the dirt roads and the vastness, the cut-throughs and all the track marks, it's probably possible. When you look at these track marks, although this picture isn't up to date, do any of these track marks look faintly similar to what you might have seen in recent time in certain footage? Does any of it look like it? I mean, they're not too wide, so they're either an ATV or a standard vehicle, car, from the looks of it. The pattern of them, though, like, have people been drifting when speeding, or have they just done like a turnaround? Because there's a lot of different pathways, or there's a lot of different track marks, as you can see. Some bend round, wide, and then others are very tightly knit together. So there's a lot of them. I guess it also depends the weather as well, because that can play a role as well. Also, it probably didn't rain here when the photo was taken because the track marks are still visible. It'd be interesting to see if there's any track marks right now within the place. And then you've got like some faint ones here. Can you see? Just very faint ones that go off. Where does it go to that anyway? Back onto the main dirt road. So people are cutting across here and there. Yeah, interesting. And also you got that vehicle there as well, which is kind of good. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't know if I can show you the photos or not. With me having that marker in the way, it's blocked out the other marker behind. Okay, so I can't do that. Never mind. But you get the idea. You might have seen it in a previous video of mine, all right? So to answer Sunshine's question about the distance of the sun tunnels to the grain shed, we can do that right now. As you can see, there are already markers on screen, which we will get into more shortly, okay? So I'll just select the measurement, first of all, set it to miles. And I will try and do it accurately, okay, within the video. You've seen me in the past where I've skipped across. We'll cut across this way because there were track marks already in place there. Does it go into miles or what? Let me try that again. Okay, it's been awkward. And what I'm doing is I'm going all the way to the grain shed. It's quite a long road, okay? Do it about there. So it's about 1.86 miles, okay? 1.86 miles to get here, to if you were starting all the way down here. Okay, you get that? From there to up here. Doesn't take too long, okay? Now, in terms of distance from the sun tunnels to where Dylan lives, if you wanted to know about that as well, we can do that. I'll use those tracks because you can see the faint ones as if someone did cut across on purpose. Another long dirt road. Now, originally, I would get lost coming down here and I'd be like, well, where does it go from here on? But I do know. Just keep on going. It's quite a long one, to be fair. Definitely a long one. There you go. I noticed it because of that field with all those track marks. If you want to round it up, about 5 miles. It's interesting how the number 5 pops up quite often. 5 miles from here to Dylan's grain shed, 5 miles from here to Sun Tunnels, 5 miles from Dylan's grain shed to, I think, the phone ping. What's so significant about the number 5, or something near to the number 5 at least? So, yeah. Okay. So what should we look at now? Well, maybe it should make more sense to explain those different pathways, okay? Should be able to flip the screen. So one point Sunshine was mentioning, and I guess questioning, was if you had a vehicle, maybe with a trailer attached, where'd be the nearest gas station? Now, this can apply just to a vehicle itself, okay? It could be anything that requires petrol, fuel, gas, diesel, whatever. Sure, people might have supplies within these remote areas, as the odd few have said previously. They'll have stuff on the farm already. But what happens when they run out? Or what happens when they just want a refill and they don't want to use their current storage up because that's for other stuff? Well, this will explain, okay? So we'll just use Sun Tunnels as a starting point, okay? And I guess we'll do Montello first because that's one of the nearer gas stations, okay? So I don't know if I should flip the screen anymore. I'll probably just keep it like that. So you're in Sun Tunnels or around Sun Tunnels. You get in your car. You drive out this way. This is just one of the alternative ways to go, okay? Go down this long road. Obviously, you can turn off left if necessary, and that probably would be the case, if with Dylan's land having a gate there, okay? But I can show that alternative path shortly. You go down here, and let's just say this is to do with one of the suspects just before or after the disappearance of Dylan. A suspect in their own vehicle, maybe with a trailer, disposing of Dylan, okay? Because there was talks that the suspect might have been using their own vehicle, and that's why we haven't come across it, okay? Just a possibility. We'll refer to that in this video, okay? Goes to the grain shed, whether it's before or after, something goes down within this area. Someone might get hurt or have got hurt. Got into the vehicle, go up this way. You see that winding road? Now, I won't spend too long on this, okay? Because to be fair, I did do a video of this route for other, I think it was for similar reasons, okay? But I'll just show you the official one, okay? Last time I didn't use a highlighter to guide me. That's why it wasn't as efficient and it took longer to do. Now, I have done routes like this before with actual hikes. So when it came to the Kenny Veach case and you had actual people going out there hiking, they needed routes, they needed locations, they needed the distance checked and to be measured before they went out. And here and there, I did the odd analysis and hike route video, mapping it out for them and for some people they said it helped them, so that was good. Once you get here, got to cross over the line. There is a proper crossing, so that's good. You go there and turn left. By the way, I still haven't got the coordinates for Jim Brenner's trailer. Salty Pancake said something about he was going to get them, but I never received them, so I don't know what's up about that. But it is somewhere over that way, you see. Anyway, returning back, go down the main road. One thing to point out, and it's a valid one, this is a main road, so where the general public will be. If you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be detected, you probably use a dirt road, and obviously there's several of them over that way. I mean, look, you can even see a dirt road there, like a rough, faint one going off in the distance. So, as I said, there are alternative routes to get there, but this is just a quick one to answer Sunshine's question. You go all the way down here, and you can see Montello is in the distance. We're passing Charlie Creek, a few little buildings nearby. And here we go, in the town of Montello. We've looked at it a few times now. And there you go. And this gas station is supposedly ran or under the hands of what they're called, Brandy and maybe Julie, Brandy and someone, okay, who run this gas station, and that was said by Ty, okay. So we have previously covered this spot before when I was asking about CCTV cameras and any of that. You got the gas pumps just outside there, okay. I don't know if the pressure washers are nearby. For some reason, that little yellow thing reminds me of a pressure washer. There were people nearby when Salty Pancakes drove past, so that might be it, and I guess you've got to pay to use it. And it was said that Dylan did use it on his vehicle, and then, on one of the days. So yeah, that's one of the locations. I will zoom out for you so you can see the distance, okay? You just follow the orange line, which is an official road. Cross the tracks, cross the border, all the way down here. Let's get rid of that. Turn off, down here. And then there's the grain shed. Hopefully that makes sense for anyone who wasn't sure. Flip the screen. Can you see? Over that way. And that is facing west. Heading to Montello is going west. Okay? Now, what about the other alternative? You see, that heads south. So we'll go south, okay? There's two different routes. Let's just start down here. So you've got sun tunnels. Let's say someone's driving through. Could be Chase Venstra, could be Jim maybe. Goes up this way instead. First heading west. See the roads. Turning left to head south. Okay? I think before I do that, I probably should just refer back to what I was saying earlier, right? Just in case. Apologies, I might as well say it now. So, like when I was saying about heading to Montello's to refuel the gas station, and I said you could come all the way down here. Well, if you don't have keys to the gate, you're not going to be able to get through. And sure, you probably can cut across here, but if this is Dylan's land, you probably aren't welcome, depending who you are, obviously. So what you can do is at this turn-off point just before the gate over there, you just turn this way and go west. And once you've gone all the way up here, let's drag it in a second. Okay, there we go. Once you've gone up here, you can turn off, because look, there's different ways to go. You can go that way. Hold on. You can go that way south to the other gas stations, or if you wanted to do the Montello one, you can go right here, which will eventually join up with the road I just showed you into Montello. Does that make sense? That one over there. So they all link up to one another, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So we're starting off at Sun Tunnel, once again. Go west, turn left at the crossroad, and head south all the way down here. It's weird how what is that, like a dirt road or something? Because on both sides it looks parallel. That's kind of weird. It looks like black and dark all the way down. It's probably just the road, the path itself. So you go all the way down here. If you wonder why I'm strafing left and right, it's because I'm using my thumb on the screen to drag, and I've got to do it one side to another, unfortunately. Okay. Some people might say, well, why don't you use like Google Maps or Google Earth Pro? Well, I do for certain stuff, but for this, it's just easier to set up the projects, okay? And then, once you got down here, from Sun Tunnels, which was over that way, you then go west again to go down this main road, okay? In and out. A few twists and turns within the road. Zoom out a little bit. You can see Bald Eagle Mountains in the distance over that way. Right. And then you turn again, going south, kind of south. And then you end up joining onto the road, the one I showed you a bit earlier, here. In which, if you go back that way, going north, you'll eventually be on the way to Montello, as I said, and passing by the grain shed in parallel to it. But if you continue that way, you'll end up towards Wendover, which is actually a key spot itself, because it's been talked about. Anything present nearby? You got these buildings here. 1 second, let me just stand up because I'm getting a bit achy. So I was on the bed. Okay, so you got this building here. It looks quite busy, whatever it's used for, I'm not sure. A few vehicles, stuff dumped around. Is it a scrapyard? It looks like a few RVs and trailers and normal buildings as well. Interesting. Whatever that is there, that could be scrap. Big container there on the right, and an abandoned truck. And then something here as well with a red truck outside once again. Interesting. And what's that there? I don't know what that is. Feel free to let me know what you think in the chat. Anyway, linking back to the gas station towards Wendover. Going south, you see Graham Peak in the distance. And you start to see this area open up, which you would have seen briefly in my past videos. I believe that's a dried up lake. You can see how open it is, but also dry at the same time because of the heat. So I guess when you get the floods, it does fill up a little bit. So then you go this way, you see Pilot Peak up that way. That's like the border, I think I'm correct in saying, where you see all those mountains going straight down the middle. And over that should be Jim Brenner's trailer somewhere. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, and then let's just carry on moving this way to the gas station. You got Pilot Peak, which flashed up in the distance. There you go, it shows up again. Also, feel free to be on the lookout if you do see anything odd that stands out, or feel free to leave a comment in the chat as we're going along to let me know, or let other people know, if these areas have been searched or that they need to be searched, okay? You've got South Patterson Spring just there. I don't know if there's much to it. Hold on. Look how green that is. You know, you got that road, branches off, and then look how green. That's kind of different. Has that been planted or is that natural? And all that brown stuff as well, is that rock? Huh. That's kind of interesting, that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm getting too excited over some green vegetation. Look how vast that is. And you would have seen pictures yourself, you know, proper real-time photos, but you just see, even on Google Earth, how vast it is. So if you're there in real life, it's going to be even more. So yeah, that's good, that. Let's just carry on. It does make you think, if it has been dried up, this lake, most of the time, could any of the biker gangs, like Ed Harshberger and his group of biker guys, could they have driven across the lake, the land, when it's dry, just going on a run, hanging out, meeting up, rallying? Who knows? Could the militia in their off-road buggies been driving around, chasing people down, circling, stalking, scouting, reconning? You never know. Let me know what you think in the chat. Has this been used as like a race course, a meeting spot, maybe a rally point? Let me know what you think. Now, obviously the line is a bit wonky. It goes off-road, but, you know, it was difficult to pinpoint. But you get the idea. It's just like a rough marker to follow as we go down. Now, you do have some turn-off points which go up that way. Now, I don't know if they go into the mountains or not, but that's kind of interesting because, well, you know, a location where people are less likely to search would be the mountainous areas because it's harder to access, and it's, you know, in a least likely spot. So, I might do an analysis of the mountain range, pilot whatever, and all that, if you want me to. Let me know in the chat right now. I'll do a poll as well on YouTube, okay? Would you... Why it's so intense, the breathing. Hold on. Would you, right now in the chat, want me to do an analysis of the mountain range? Yes or no? And yeah, I'll do a poll as well on my channel, as I said, so we get different results overall. Anyway, onwards. A few more turn-off points. So it must go on to the lake or something, where it's just a park up or drive on. Okay. Bends off slightly here. And you got another turn point again. But have you seen how that road just disappears? That's weird. Is it like a turning point or something, or the track's just faded with time? That's kind of weird, that. So a vehicle was coming down this road, either this way or the other way, turned off here, went down it, and then it just vanished. Or did it? Oh, I think it did like a horseshoe loop. It went around and down and stopped. That's kind of weird. Can you see? I mean, it does look like there's actually other tracks here. Like you got a line, a track there of some sort, and then you got a line, a track there of some sort. Can you see? Very thin. Could that have been an ATV? I mean, it's weird because you've literally got a dirt road right here. So why are people going across the land that way? Is it because they're lazy? They want a shortcut? I don't know. And this as well, if this was a turn point, why does it go so far into the land just for someone to decide, oh, now I'm going to turn around? If it was just like a little pull-in there, then that would have made more sense. Anyway, let's just carry on moving in this direction. You got another track there. Can you see? Goes off to the left. It's worth making a note of this because with all these different track marks, it gives you an idea of the popular routes people might go. I did see something to the left that caught my eye, so I'll just pull away slightly, looking back this way. Have you seen how dark it gets? Why is it so dark? Is it dark because it's saturated and wet? Or is it dark because the sunlight isn't reaching it? Shadows, maybe? Feel free to let me know if you know. Oh, look at that greenness again. Is that something else? Is that vegetation or is it like slime? Because it looks really green. That's weird. Is it like swamp like? I don't know. This looks kind of weird. And what's that over there? Is that a building? No, it's just all land. Just ground rocks. Anyway, let's carry on going. Is everyone enjoying the road trip? What's here on the left? What's that blue thing? What the hell's that? That's weird. Is it a lens reflection? It looks very blue. It doesn't look like a vehicle, but it looks quite big. But then you got some other stuff there. You got some boxes or objects. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a little lake, river, a wash. I don't know. As I said, as we're going along, if you know anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. Just carry on going. Apologies if there's any background sound. There is a complete, just stupid, pathetic excuse of a human that seems to just go up and down on a moped down the street. Makes no sense, just complete knobhead. And he's smashing against a wall. Anyway, look, you've got a bit of a clearing here. I don't know what that's for. Is it a parking spot? Is it a turnaround where people just turn around? Could be, because you can see some track marks, you know, like an oval or a semicircle. Yeah, that's better. Okay. As I said, it's a bit of a long road, so I will try and speed up because it might be a bit boring, this. On the left, you've got Donna Spring. What's this? You know, some more buildings. Some kind of farm or something. It looks like a farm. Well, I think it is. I might be wrong. There's a lot going on. Yeah, that's definitely a farm. Quite a big one. And fairly developed, because you look at Lucin and most of that area is pretty dry and not really practical, you know what I'm saying? But you look here, it looks a bit more successful. That looks like a little lake. Yeah, that does look like a lake. Come on, flip the screen. There we go. There are quite a few different fields, as you can see. So that's why it looks like the way we've come so far. Is there another turn-off point here? Looks like it. I don't know what that's for. You know, it goes off the path, goes up here. This does look like a parking spot. I'm sure there'll be parking spots here, and then the other pathways are where people just hike on up over that way. It would make sense because it's like a tourist spot, maybe. Let's carry on going. You see Utah over there. You see Nevada on the right. We're near to the border. A few more roads that go over that way. You've got Leppy Peak. Okay. I wish there was a way to drag faster. Salt Spring. You can see like a highway over there, the 93. Interesting. Right, Pilot Creek Valley, just there. And then you turn off right, because if you go that way, it just goes a bit too far off. You turn off here, and you keep on going, you'll eventually get onto the highway. So that's likely the way a vehicle or a vehicle with a trailer would have gone. Lepi Reservoir. Interesting. Let's just take a brief check here and look, because when it comes to a reservoir, or what do you call it that? I'm just trying to think what I've come across. I don't know if it was a reservoir. What was it called? Where it was originally used for, is it mining? Or, I have no idea what you call it, fuck me. But where there might have been digging in the past for resources, and then eventually it filled up into a lake. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I'm sure there was like people drowning there where I went once. Not at the time, obviously, but where it's happened in the past. Is a reservoir like here a place where you could dispose of Dylan, or would someone notice it? Would it be obvious? Short, long term? I don't know. Has this been investigated? It's a fair size. I don't know if it is dried up. It doesn't look... Well, it kind of looks dry. Yeah, it does actually. Let's be realistic. It does stand out in colour though, doesn't it? If we go over here, whereabout was it? Have you seen all those track marks? Can you see? I don't know if they're track marks or not. I don't know if that's like prints, footprints maybe. But you can see like lots of dots all over the place, can't you? And then look, you got these people doing donuts in like maybe an ATV. Is it an ATV? A quad bike, a buggy. Yeah, people doing rings, going all over. And look at that as well. You can see. Interesting. So it makes you think, are any of these track marks similar to what was found at the sun tunnels? Were any of these track marks linked with maybe the track marks found in recent time by Ty, by Lance, or who else? I can't say Mob Crew because the tracks they came across were like different, like what you'd see on an excavator on a digger, so it won't be that, but you know, it's just getting an understanding of the activity of the area. And there's quite a few tracks as well. Like, look, is that a track marks? I don't know. Could look like scrape marks, to be honest. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, we can have a closer look at this another time, as I said, when I do cover Lucin deeper. Let's just keep on going. The US Route 93 alternate. Purple Heart TRL. So, a bit of elevation up here. You know, if we look back, you can see it starts increasing in altitude slightly, but that's because you're near a mountainous area on the left. Come down this way, still heading south, I think. And you got another turn-off point up there, which goes up that way. I don't know if you'd walk up to it or drive, depending. Then you go left here, and then you kind of like running in parallel to the highway, which is just over there. And if you keep going this way, you'll eventually get onto it. Just see what it looks like in the distance slightly. Get an idea of the mountain range. Pilot Peak, look how tall and big that looks from here. Okay. Oh, it looks like it dips down a bit. Is that a wash? Is that a wash or something? Because it goes in and out. Interesting. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it trickles down that way towards the highway. It looks like there's another one there where it dips down. It's a bit bumpy, isn't it? Look at that. Okay. Oh, is it? What's that? Wendover viewpoint. So you see where we're going now. Now the thing is, with Wendover, Ty mentioned it. Ty said that Lance goes to Wendover here and there for groceries and items. that Dylan might have been there, you know, here and there. What's this on the left? Hang on. Oh, come on, flip. Ooh, is that an RV? You see how they just dumped and... I need to drop the phone in. You see how they just dumped and slumped randomly. And that's near a bloody mountain. Come on, flip. Near Leppy Peak. Trailer there. I don't know whose it is. I don't know if it's any of the suspects at a point in time in the past where they might have been staying out. But yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. I say it's one of those things where they just catch your eye. It's a good thing the trailers are all white for most part of it, so they do stand out compared to the colour of the ground. But then again, in certain spots where it's kind of lighter colour, it's difficult. So he turns again at this point. I'll show you the way we came, all the way down there, Pilot Peak over that way. Turn off. The ground looks kind of scraped or something and it dips down. Is that a quarry? You got the mounds. That's interesting. I can't see any vehicles though. Anyway. You get here, and then is there a railway track? No, there isn't. And then I guess you could cross over, maybe if that's possible. If it's not and it's illegal, there might be like a little road that allows you to sneak on. Actually, maybe not, because the traffic's coming this way, so if you do cross over, you're going to smash into it. Yeah, obviously not a good thing. So let's just stick to this main dirt road, because it's thick enough and it runs in parallel. So you could be driving all the way down here, approaching Wendover, and I'm sure there'll be a point where it can cut on. Maybe here? Is this like a possible one here? You've got some slight little bridges there. That looks like a turning point which you could eventually cross onto and eventually get onto the highway. Now, that's the thing, because I'm not from the US, I don't know if I'm on the right side of the road. So it's a good thing this is all virtual, just like when playing GTA, because there'd probably be a lot of car crashes if I was present. Okay, so here we go. Bends round. Hey, this is a good viewpoint. I might have to take this as a screenshot or something. I wonder if I should do that now. There we go. I don't always do it, but it kind of works. Let's do it like that. Boom. It's easier doing it now during the video than later. One more. There we go. Apologies. So you've got this, I don't know what that is, to be honest. Solar panels, some other kind of construction. I don't know. Can you see all those blue markers? That's where all the gas stations are. Aside from Montello, this is the next nearest location. You got Salt Lake City, but... Do you call it Salt Lake City? You got Salt Lake, but that's a bit further away. And it's more populated, that area. Less likely for a suspect or someone like Dylan or Lance to go to. Now, I know Lance, he lived in the city, or he lived in a more populated area in the past and now is off grid. Okay, I understand that. But I'm talking more about, like, you know, the suspects or Dylan himself going to certain places, and Wendover was a more likely place where he's been, or like one of the suspects might have been, because there is more, you know, accessibility to stuff and as well as gas, but it's not too populated, it's not too busy. So people might see you, but not to the extent as if you were in a city. So just want to mention that. As I said, on the right, you've got Wendover Viewpoint, which I guess is like a little tourist place which you can visit, explore. Can I click on it, maybe? Will it show me any pictures? Ooh, goody. Okay. So we've got one here. I don't know which way this is facing, but can I tap? Okay. So that might be either the way we came, or looking at it from looking south, maybe. But this was 2020, so it's not exactly up to date. There we go. That down there is the highway going into Wendover from the looks of it, where I was before taking those screenshots for the thumbnail. Okay. I can't imagine Dylan being in this area, hidden or placed near the rocks, because it's too open. Someone would find him. But in terms of other mountainous areas where it's less accessible, less popular, possibility, maybe. All right, okay. When was this? 2020, and that was 2020. I think that's Wendover. Overlooking it, got a good view. Very vast there in the distance, as you can see. But yeah, you get a good scout point, if you call it that. This is another angle. There's another angle, okay. You see a few track marks. It's worth just looking at the track marks itself, because although this isn't directly relevant, it's just understanding the type of track marks, what you might see. It's easy for people who are in the area to say, oh, it's nothing, or oh, it's this, it's that. Well, they're used to it. They see it on a daily basis in terms of maybe the type of car or the make, type of transport, the specificness behind that. But if you're not from the area and you don't see track marks that often, because you might not be in an area where track marks are left because you're on normal roads, then you might not know, or you might not pick up on it as much. So it's worth just taking a break, slowing down, and just understanding the ground, the texture of it, because this is the funny thing. You know, you look at a ground, you think, what's that? Bit of dirt, bit of dust, a few particles and rocks, so what? But it can be like a treasure map. It can have prints, it can have markers, hints and clues and prompts which could take you in the right direction to finding another clue, or finding the main thing, like Dylan, or a suspect, a living place, who knows? So it's always worth just checking. Whoa, have you seen that one? That one's good. 2022, January, from the looks of it. Wow. And it looks quite busy there. I think I'm correct in saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but over that way is Salt Lake City, I think, because you got that long road which goes into it. But yeah, look at all those lights. That's a good wallpaper image. Okay. 2022, the 7th. Okay. What does that say? Prison. Oh, we've got a prison nearby. I didn't know there was a prison. That could be interesting. What prison is Jim Brenner at? Is he at the prison within Utah, Wendover, nearby, or is it a completely different state? I never knew about that. I know there's been talks about a person called Brooke, that's appeared on either Doug's or, yeah, it was Doug's podcast. Not podcast, shit. His live stream, his call-in, and Brooke said about visiting Jim and talking to him, asking him questions and stuff, building a report, wanting to make babies with Jim, make baby bees, and so on. I don't know, but that's what I heard. But yeah, if you know what prison Jim's at, feel free to leave a comment down below. Okay. 2019, so we're going backwards now in the dates. Oh, is this one going to load? Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Shit, bloody hell. Panoramic, no wonder why it took so long to load. Can we just zoom in maybe? Let's go from, ooh, okay. We'll go from right to left. So I don't know if this is looking at Wendover or looking behind where we came from, but I'll just drag across just so you can see a lot of distance. As you can see, the colour of the ground and the texture of it kind of looks similar to that video on Dylan's TikTok when he was watering the ground. But it does look smooth in certain areas, so I don't know if that's wet or not. You've actually got like a barn or a shed over there, which is interesting, the way it just stands out in the middle of nowhere. You know, that's the sort of thing, maybe not that one specifically because it looks in good condition, but that's the sort of place where Dylan could be hidden, locked up, or may have been taken to at some point and then moved on. You never know. I think that's like farmland over there because it does look like there's fences of some sort. What's down there? Can't really make out. You've got mountains in the distance. They look kind of white, so I assume snow. Don't know. 12th and 2021. Okay. And that looks like a farm down there. I think, are they hay bales or just like buildings? I'm not too sure, but yeah. There's a lot going on down that way. Got a few pools of water too. Interesting. I guess that's Wendover, if I'm correct. Yeah, okay. Few cars, a few buildings. I've not seen too many trailers. Doesn't look as rough. Some work stuff going on over there. And yeah, interesting. And then when you look over there, oh, you got McDonald's. Look at that. It's funny, that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw it. But yeah, look at all that. All those buildings. I don't know, it's like first thing that comes to my mind, it looks like a mini Las Vegas in terms of the colour of the buildings and being surrounded by like a desert type terrain. Some towers in the distance as well. And yeah, that's about it for that image. Number 10, a bit of a rough look one. You've got a power line up there, as you can see, that goes across. 2022, the 8th. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Wendover again from a different angle. Vitali Hill. Is that the person's name? I guess. What's that? Oh, it's a rock. Apologies about any background sound. Some idiots mowing the grass. Don't know who it is. Yeah, look at that greenery. It's very dark there. Yeah. Final image. And there we go. That water tower? Not too sure. There we go, just back out of that. So you saw up that way, overlooking all those buildings down there. So do we really need to look at any of them specifically? Probably not. Let's just look at the gas stations at least. So suspect, whoever it may be, coming down this way with a trailer, a long haul, moving on from place to place. Someone like Chase, because he doesn't stay in one area that long, he's moving around left, right, centre, let's just say. You know, lives in an RV, or Jim lives in an RV, got to drag it along and make the odd fill up as well. I mean, if you're working on a farm, you own a business, you're going to have like reserves and storage, but maybe if you just live in rough in the area, you might not have as much resources, or you might not be as prepared, and so on. But if we look to the right here, you've got two different schools, elementary and high. You've got a landing strip as well. Yeah, I think that's like a little airport. First gas station is here, which is also like a little shop. The shop is here. Parking spaces, and then I guess this is the gas station. I might be wrong, but it was marked as a gas station when I did search, okay? So yeah, that's the first one. And as you notice, when we go further down, there's a couple more as well. Okay, so just drag down. You got West Wendover Recreation District and West Wendover Public Works. I don't know if that's like a museum or a visiting centre. It's got the symbol of one though. Okay. On the left, you got another gas station here, which overlooks, well, you got the mountains in the distance. Flip the image. There you go. That was marked as a gas station as well, officially. trucks as well and trailers. And then you've got two more. You got Chevron here, gas station. And then across the highway you cut across. I think that might, does that go underneath the bridge? Yeah, it does. It goes underneath. Then you got Maverick, which looks like a really dodgy one. I assume this is a petrol station, gas station, because I searched Maverick online and it said it is a branded one, okay? But the area itself, the way the road just cuts off there, you know, the tarmac, and it just goes off to a dirt road. And then this here, it looks like it's literally fenced all the way round. So, I don't know. When I typed in gas station, this was yet another marker that came up as one. But it doesn't look like one, so maybe they got it wrong. Or maybe it's under development, I don't know. But it doesn't look like a gas station to me, the shaping and size of it. It could be just a business, okay? You got Chevron. Where's the Shell one? I'm sure there was a Shell gas station somewhere. Did I go past it, maybe? I don't know. But there was a Shell gas station. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Shell. That one there. Similar type of roof. A few cars peeping out. So, yeah. So with all those blue markers, you can see quite a few of them, can't you? Okay. Rotate facing back down this way. Oh, Salt Lake City, long road in the distance. So there you go. We won't need to go that way because there's no need, but you get the idea. So, is there anything that should be done now? Well, as you can see, I've done a radius from parts of Montello, as we've previously looked at before, Lucin as well, where Dylan was last heard of and contact was made, all the way down here to where the other gas station was, which is Wendover, which ties Bintu, Lance, and I think Dylan maybe at a point in time, correct me if I'm wrong. So all this can be looked at, and I have shortened it slightly, the radius. So it's a bit longer this time than the width, okay? So there you go. I guess the only other thing to do is just to measure the distance, right? I might as well do it here because I know Sunshine wanted the distance, okay? Now I have measured the distance from Sun Tunnels to the grain shed, and as well Dylan's living quarters to Sun Tunnels, so I don't really need to do that. What I will do though, how should I do this? I don't know if to include going over Dylan's land or not. Let's not, just for the sake of it, okay? Let's just imagine you don't have access to Dylan's land. And we'll just do a rough one. This is why using these like little pinpoints is so helpful, because you can just, you know, you don't have to zoom in and think where's the next road, because this is the road, or one of them, okay? Because I did map it out earlier. That's why it goes in and out. And then when it comes to measuring it, I can just basically highlight over it, as you can see. I actually did this with all the Kenny Beach hikes in the Mojave Desert, you know, Jeremy Canyon, Picture Canyon, Dead Man Canyon, Wagon Canyon, Hidden Forest Trail, Sheep Peak, Sheep Range, what's the other one? What's it called? I forgot. Hayford Peak, that was it. All the different spots where Kenny could have gone, where search and rescue might have been here and there, and more recent hikers too. Oh, cool. Interesting. So roughly about 23 miles. Now, it might be the actual route itself, but from the looks of it at least, and I actually went an alternative way as well. I went a slightly longer route. Instead of cutting through Dylan's land, I went left, avoiding that, as if you're like, you didn't have access to it because you might not work there and so on, or have permission. 23 miles. I thought people said it was 30, 35 miles. It only is 23, and I followed the road this time. You know what I'm saying? You know, like when I did it for the very first time and some people were bashing me and saying, oh, no, it's 30 miles and a bit more. You did it wrong because you didn't include all the roads. I literally followed a road, as you can see, 23 miles, and I followed the road. Maybe someone did a longer one in the past, but that's what I did from Sun Tunnels, which is slightly further back from the grain shed, all the way to Montello gas station. So from Sun Tunnel to Montello gas station, if you're in a vehicle, ATV, you got a trailer, hauling it there, 23.5 miles, 24 miles rounded up, okay? If you want to take in consideration Sun Tunnels to Wendover, we can do that right now, okay? Just get my measuring stick out. There we go. And this can be done quicker this time instead of just dragging all the way on, because I know it took a bit before. There we go. I do go a little bit in and out just to make it as if you were sticking onto the road. Sure, there might be shortcuts, as I said, because, you know, as we saw, there was a few track marks going off left, right and centre, so maybe that's a possibility. Coming off from the lake, slowly reaching the highway, which is here. Boom. And we'll do distance to the furthest gas station, okay? So we incorporate all of them in. So about there, about 50 miles. 50 miles from here, Wendover, all the way back to Sun Tunnels, which is there. If I zoom out, facing south, this is what it looks like. It might look a bit messy, but yeah, there you go. You see how it's all mapped out, you know, like little island effects, the radius itself. Now, when you look at it from here, it doesn't look that big, the radius, you know, what needs to be looked at and covered. But the reality is it's bigger than you think, obviously, when you're there. So you've always got to take that into mind. The reason why I use Sun Tunnel as the starting point is because I didn't have any other starting points given as a suggestion, okay? I was just like basing it off from like the suggestion by Sunshine about sun tunnels in the grain shed. So I just thought I'd use those points only to mark out from where you go on from there. Obviously, understandably, there could be possible locations before that where an individual was parked at, staying, camping, and then moved on. Some people might still be a little bit confused of this video, so I'll just do a quick debrief and then we'll end it there, okay? Okay, so thankfully the person has stopped mowing the grass. Hello! Yes, I'm recording right now. Would you like to interfere anymore? No? Okay, bye. Anyway, the importance of this video, the explanation of it, arguably I could be wasting my breath because, you know, the impetuous people and that might have clicked off too soon, but that's tough shit. Too soon, tough shit. But the importance of this video is, first of all, a viewer request. Someone wanted an understanding of the location and the distance of Sun Tunnel to Dylan's grain shed, as well as the gas stations incorporated, to get an understanding of if there is a suspect present, no matter who it is, or Dylan maybe, but mainly a suspect, where would they go if they needed gas? What's the nearest, most practical location? Is there any alternative ones as well? And that's what I've demonstrated, okay? Because either before or after, if they were transporting Dylan, they might have got gas on the way or on the way back. You never know. It might make more sense on the way back from somewhere, because then no one's going to see someone tucked in the back seat or in the boot. So it wouldn't be as suspicious, right? So that's always worth taking into mind. I think as well, whilst covering this video, it's kind of opened up a better perspective of Lucin, because I've not focused in too much of that. I've always been with Montello and that area, but Lucin itself, there's a few things shown. Despite it looking very empty and vast compared to Montello, there are still some buildings and standout points, as you saw, like the reservoir, the little farm land. So yeah, I can do a future video looking deeper into those places and see if there's any others, okay? And as well, it's good how we're able to see all those track marks, even slightly further out, the different types of track marks, the width of them, the length, what they might have been used for. Near that reservoir, it looked like it was for racing, messing around, hanging out and stuff like that. It makes you think, could any of that be tied with a future occurrence like with Dylan for some reason? Just because with all these investigations going on, the proper boots on ground videos and channels out there doing a lot of work, they've come across quite a few track marks, you know, past and present. So it's like, who is operating within the area? Is something else going on? And there is a little update regarding one of Lance's videos in Jim's trailer, which I will get to in a future video, okay, coming soon. But I think that's it for now. As I said, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the video, as well as the analysis, the routes, the distance, and who might have been responsible, you know, and which direction they might have been going in, and so on, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.